I'm beginning to think that my stability issues with the tripod in the car are no more. Yeah, right. I jerry-rigged a little something with a bungee cord. This is looking pretty fucking professional. You can't see what I'm seeing, but believe it. So it's four. So this is pretty much what happened over the last 20 minutes. I finished my cardio around noon. I got in the sauna. Not that I think, the sauna has any astronomical benefits. I mean, the sauna is definitely doing something to your body because it's fucking hard to stay in there. So it's definitely like a stressor. But I'm not a fucking health nut about it. Really, it's when I'm cutting, usually after cardio, I just like going to the sauna. It feels good. So came back from that, drank some. Well, even before I got home, I preemptively started the rehydration process. So I slammed two Powerade Zeros from the vending machine. Not that I think they're completely jacked, stocked full of electrolytes, but it's a little something for sure. So then I get home, just chill, hang out. I went to Goodwill. I got a sub from Subway. It was really good. It's about 80 carbs. Actually, no, I think it was about 90 grams of carbs, about 30 grams of protein, and then it was like 20 grams of fat. The guy went a little heavy on the mayonnaise. But that was pretty good. I kind of just chilled on the couch for a little while after that. I went to Goodwill on that same trip too. That was nice. That's where I got this fucking shirt. What do you think? Am I an asshole for lifting in the unwashed Goodwill shirt? I don't think so. I don't know. It's gonna get dirty anyway in the gym. Whatever. But so all that shit went down. And I look at the clock and I realize, all right, it's 4:30. I think I'll go lift at around 7 or so. That'll be good. And I thought a little bit deeper and I went, wait a second. It's Saturday. All the gyms that I like close at 6. So rather than, so actually, I mean, usually in that situation, I would just lift at the Planet Fitness. But I got a little bit of a tip from somebody else that records in there that they booted him. Or not booted, they just probably told him to stop recording. But they said no recording in there, so I'm not going to run that risk. Come on, no chest day video. So instead, just it's fucking groundhog. Instead, we're leaving at 4:40. Well, now it's 4:45, so I'll probably get to the gym at about probably 4:55, maybe 5 at the latest. So the agenda today was chest and shoulders, but if I get there at about 6, that means I've only got an hour, which for chest is perfect. Chest is usually a quick lift, 30 to 45 minutes. But chest and shoulders, I'm not going to be able to fit it in. So this is where trying to have a little bit of fitness equipment at the house will fucking help you. It'll come in clutch. So rather than just say skip shoulders and say fuck it, I'll just come back from the gym and finish the workout with shoulders in the basement. So this will be a two-parter in one. Metro chest day and then home gym shoulder day. Because for shoulders, all I need is dumbbells, not even that heavy. I would be perfectly satisfied with a workout just having dumbbells that go up to around 50 pounds. And that's what I've got at the house. I've got the home gym is equipped with a state-of-the-art set of rusty steel dumbbells, or iron, but you get what I'm saying, from about 5 to 50. I've got a pair of like 65s where you screw on the weight plates. Those are kind of junky. So that's the inventory for dumbbells, squat rack, and a little cable pull down as well. So I'll definitely be using that for some rear delt face pulls. I like that. But that'll be for later in the video. Come on, we got to focus on chest. So basic plan. I kind of have Smith machine bench on my mind. So I think I'm going to just get in there, get warm, and then as long as it's open, I think I'm going to get on the Smith machine for a couple of sets. Same style as normal, relatively quick reps, heavy weight, really, fatigue the chest, get the baseline of a good pump started. And who knows, if incline Smith feels really good, like if every set I just feel more and more pumped and fatigued and really doing some good damage, and I just like the way it feels, that last part is just going to be kind of subjective, then I could sit there for 8 sets and have incline Smith be my only pressing movement for this whole day, and I'd be perfectly happy with that. But I assume I may get tired of it after about 3 or 4, and then I'll move on to probably a hammer strength press. They've got one that's inclined here. I think you're definitely noticing a pattern. With pressing, I think you're probably better off doing mainly incline. Upper chest typically gets a bit, what's the word I'm thinking of? Neglected. And a big upper chest kind of makes you just look bigger and fuller. So after maybe 7 or 8 pressing movements, I'll be ready to just finish off chest with some lighter, well, relatively lighter, cable flies, pec deck, just something to get a good stretch, burn out, finish off the pump, and then we can check it out. So that's pretty much all there is to it. I think this will be a long one because it's going to have the car talk now, and then the lift, and then the pose down, and then the car talk again, and then the lift, and then I'll probably do the meal after shoulders. So buckle up. God dang it. Another day of good lifting is going to be under the belt in about, well, for me, probably 2 hours total, but for you, with all the fat trimmed off, it should only take maybe 45 minutes. So let's fucking get in there. There we go. Let's freaking get home. So I did not bring a post-workout shake, not because I didn't want to, but it's kind of in a rush. I was against the clock today, but finished chest without having to rush it. Well, without having to rush it so much that I'd have to compromise the lift itself. And now we'll just go back to the crib and bust out some side laterals and some fucking some some rear delt movements. So that'll be, I'll do a couple different kinds of side laterals. Partially, in my opinion, sort of just for the novelty of doing different ones. But, different movements, even if they're hitting the same muscle, they will hit it in a slightly different way. So I wouldn't want to just have a routine where every arm day I did the exact same kind of curls, like only one kind. And I wouldn't want to only do one kind of press. You got to change this shit up, man. Stimulate the muscle in different ways. But shoulders is a pretty simple lift, in my opinion. At least for me. So it's just going to be 8 sets of, I think I'm going to fucking reduce the volume. I'm going to drop it to 8. How about this? For the cut, I'm going to drop my sets down to 8 and see how I feel. See how I feel doing 8 sets. Because on the bulk, I'm thinking about trying even as low as 6. Even as low as 6 working sets for each muscle group. So I'll try 8 for the next 2 weeks or so, see how I feel. I don't think it's going to change the way I look or anything because I'm just fucking, I'm dieting down. I'm not building any muscle. But, I'll just see how it feels. So getting back to shoulders, I've always done just 8 sets for shoulders. I wonder why for shoulders I pick 8 and everything else I pick 11. Calves I do 8 too. It's just kind of arbitrary. It's within the range that I recommend, but must be a subconscious, subjective thing. But okay, getting back on track. The shoulder workout, side delts will hit second, so I can finish the workout with a side delt pump. So rear delts will be first on the agenda. I think I have 3 movements in mind: laying face pulls with a rope, standing single arm face pulls with a D handle, and then some bent over reverse lateral raises or rear delt raises. That'll be perfect for rear delts, and then side delts I'll just do a couple kinds of side laterals. So I think that pretty much covers the basis of what we're going to hit in the basement. But that chest day was pretty good. It was pretty good. It could have been better. I went hard on all my sets, of course, but everything just I don't want to say I felt weak per se. Obviously I'm not as strong as I am on a full bulk. That's You know, I don't have a freaking, 800, 900 carbs in the system, but the intensity was still there. So really, I judge my lifts in a dieting phase more so based on the intensity, and in a bulk phase, I base it more so on like my performance metrics. Like if I'm bulked, that means I want to have eaten a fucking solid amount of meals beforehand, be fully rested, and fully hydrated. That's going to correlate with me being in my strongest state, so I can move around a lot of weight, do a lot of damage, get a really good pump, and then go home and rest. Now, when I'm dieting, I don't really have that, energy factor from the food. So I'm really just trying to stay hydrated, be well rested, go in and just do as hard of a lift as I can. I'm more prone to have pumps that aren't as like insane in terms of how they feel when I'm dieting. Because you got to think, if you think of my muscles as like a balloon, just bear with me. If you think of my pecs as like balloons, when I'm fully carved up on a bulk, then they're inflated as much as they've ever been. Like the chest pumps that I had on this last bulk were the most pumped that my chest has ever been, since it's, pretty much the heaviest I've ever been, and I was in a bulked state. So now, even if I get a really good chest pump, just my subjective judgment of how good the pump was, I'm a little bit spoiled because I've had pumps that are even better. Right now, the uninitiated lifter, the fool, is going to take that as, oh fuck, every time I'm dieting I have terrible workouts. I don't get as good of a pump, I'm weaker. You see, you got to realize that just, in the gym, the pumps just aren't going to be as crazy when you're dieting down, especially if you've been bulked up beforehand. The point is to get in there, get as good of a pump as you can, and then leave. Right? You're trying to stimulate the muscle so that it can, so you can freaking hold on to as much size. And what the fuck? There's a cop behind me. I don't know. So you're cutting down, you're trying to maintain as much strength and size as possible, muscularly, and, strip off the fat. So if you're cutting down and you're kind of complaining that your lifts you're not feeling as strong as you have ever been in the gym, you're maybe a little bit more tired than usual too, hey man, that's the price of leanness, You gotta be able to accept that. And vice versa. When you're bulking up, you feel big and strong, you can get pumped like a fucking car tire. But if you're doing a legitimate bulk and you're gaining weight, then you're going to gain some body fat as well. Everything comes with, I don't want to say drawbacks, but let's just say conditions. So if you want to make progress in the long term, you've got to be able to accept those conditions such that you can make changes to your body. A lot of people get stuck in a state of just plateauedness, or I don't even want to say plateauedness, because to plateau would imply that you're actually trying to change, but you're not getting the results you want. So I think a lot of lifters get stuck in a state of unintentional maintenance because, I think this thought pattern gets, ran through a lot across a lot of lifters. Those who maybe want to get bigger, or maybe thinking about trying to gain some muscle mass, they may think to themselves, well, I don't want to lose my abs, so then they're never going to bulk because they don't want to put on any body fat. And then somebody who may have a little bit excess body fat is like, oh shit, well, I don't want to be hungry on a cut. I want to eat what I want. If you're serious about making changes to how your body looks, and in this particular context of like bodybuilding, gaining muscle, then it's a give and take. This whole bulk, I extended it a little too long because I kind of like being bulked and fed. You're big and strong, but you're not so lean and crazy, and vice versa. You're lean and crazy, but you're not as strong. If you let a lot of people sort of miss the point because they put too much thought into the quote unquote negative aspects of either state, and they're not thinking about the benefits that they'll get in like the long term. I kind of cut this guy off to my left. He's looking at me, but right, you get what I'm saying. The enlightened lifter knows that if he wants to get bigger and stronger, he's also going to have to get a little fatter. I'm not saying you got to get fucking fat, right? You get what I'm trying to say. And then if you want to get leaner, You gotta accept being a little weaker. You gotta accept being kind of hungry. You know, if this shit was easy, there'd be no fun to it because there'd be no challenge. If you get what I'm freaking saying. So that's pretty much enough of that little bulking and cutting rant. Let's just get back to the crib. Honestly, I think I'm gonna take a little break in between. I'm gonna eat something. Maybe I'll have like a snack before I go downstairs and start shoulders. I'll have my own little personal intermission. But I feel like the pre is still doing a little something on my system. Honestly, I'm just trying to stimulate my fucking delts. So let's just get back to the crib, go down into the dungeon, pump up these shoulders, man. This is gonna be fun. So shoulders will be in the routine. Everything's going back in the routine now that we're cutting down because I want to stimulate all the fucking muscle on my body so I don't lose it. You get what I'm saying? Not that I'm really I'm not dieting so hard that I think I'm gonna just peel muscle off my frame, but you get what I'm freaking saying here. Let's just get down to the basement. Let's totally transition from this chest and dieting and cutting talk and get into shoulders.